I mean, first off, give us the health update, man. How's the hand healing up right now?
Yeah, the hand's going well. It's healing up nice. No complications thus far. So looking to. Obviously, I can't start the rehab program yet. Still letting the bone mend and everything, but we'll see how that goes.
Nice. So it sounds like maybe, I mean, you're thinking early next year is the earliest you can fight, probably.
I've penned in February. This is the earliest that I can fight because it's one thing to get at 100%, and then the next thing is to train at 100%. My whole goal is to let the bone mend and get my hand at 100% before I can start a rehab program. Then I've got to strengthen it so that my body becomes 100% and I'm complete again. And then I would like to get a little bit of training in at that point.
Nice. Have you started talking to UFC knowing that February is the date of, hey, where are you going to have events in next February? I mean, are you trying to defend on home soil, or are you willing to go anywhere? What are you thinking about?
It would be great to be able to defend my belt on home soil. It's one of those things that we have to see if the timelines meet. But the UFC have been always very accommodating, and they've been pretty good to me.
So how hard was it for them to talk you into this, man? I know you're a family guy, and we're looking forward to getting back home.
Yeah.
And as soon as you got there, you're flying back across the ocean.
Yeah, it was very busy. It was a very hectic couple of weeks. Have a lot of things going on back home. But, it's a good time to do it because obviously with my hands the way they are, I'm kind of out of training at the moment anyway. So I'm training a little bit slow at the moment. So it's a good time to come over here, do the filming, fit in training when I can with my coaches that I brought over, and things are going well, yeah.
It's work, but is there any part of you that enjoys it? I mean, you went through all this. I mean, is there any part of you that kind of feels like you're giving back or something like that?
I'm doing my best. I consider myself, instead of like a coach of the team, I consider myself more of a support role. I remember how hard it was for me to get through it. And I'm just using that experience to try and make it as easy for them and as comfortable for them as possible.
How tough is this time for you in Vegas? I mean, have you brought your family over? Are you by yourself?
Yeah, I brought my whole family over. So it was the flight over was an absolute nightmare. Like, you cannot believe how bad it was. But it's much easier. It is much better being this side of the fence than the other.
Was it just dealing with the kids and stuff that was the nightmare?
I had 3 under 3. On the way over on a 14.5-hour flight. One of my sons gets motion sick, so he's throwing up the whole flight. Like, the other one refused to sleep. It was an absolute nightmare.
Let me ask you, when they came to you with this matchup with Gastelum, there was some talk about who should be the next #1 contender. You know, Weidman was throwing his name in there saying he should be. What did you think when they came with this name? Did you feel like this was the rightful #1 contender?
I don't think there is a right or wrong. I think it's the UFC and the rankings and the division it's all about opportunity. You know, you get granted opportunity and you take you dive for it. The good thing about being the champ is that your opponents come to you. You know, I don't have to worry about who I'm fighting next because it's everyone. So whether it was Gastelum or Weidman, it doesn't matter to me. It's good to know that I have an opponent already locked in, so that I can focus on him and start formulating game plans and tricks to get it over him.
Do you use this as an opportunity to scout a little bit, maybe kind of, maybe play some mental games with them, maybe see if you can watch training sessions or whatever it may be?
Nah, the thing is, Gastelum's been very respectful to me, and he's not doing anything silly. I'm giving him the respect he deserves. He's a tough athlete. He's going to be a tough fighter. Peeking in on a session now and then is not going to change anything fight night. So. I'm more of a guy that just let me be me. I'm going to deal with my team. I'm going to do my thing. You do you, and I'll meet you next February.
Nice. And last thing for me, I mean, so how are you kind of viewing this time in Vegas? Is it you can't really train, I guess, right? So I mean, is it just kind of relax and try to enjoy the time while you're here?
No, I am training. So I'm still training every day. I'm training around my hands. The coaches that I brought over for the show, I'm utilizing well here for my own needs and benefits. So I'm still improving. I'm still getting better. But I think the biggest thing for me now is that I get to experience what it's like to live in Vegas for a little bit. I've got my whole family here. We're kind of living here. We're going to the groceries together, and just because I've only ever lived in Australia, so it's important. It's a good change. It's a good change of pace. One thing I can say is that it's too bloody hot here. That's for sure. It's so dry. I don't like leaving the house.
How long until you'll be able to punch, or is it hard again?
It depends. I haven't even started a rehab program yet, so at the moment I'm still letting the bone mend and letting that heal. Who can say? Once it heals, then I need to start the rehab program, and then I need to adjust the dates on when I can start striking and the load bearing once I see how my hand is responding to the rehab.
Are you planning on doing other rehab here in Vegas? Or?
Definitely. I can't just postpone everything. Otherwise, it'll be longer before I come back. So I'm at the moment I'm still in the healing process where the bone's still mending. But once that's done, I'm going to go see the the physicians and the doctors at the UFC provide, and can help me with my rehab and recovery.
And last, like, how do you see Gastelum's strengths, you know, and how do you think, which kind of challenge do you think he brings to you?
He's a tough athlete. He hits like a truck. He's fast. He's young, you know, and he wants it. The thing is, personally, I think I'm just better at everything than he is. So I look forward to going to this fight, putting my skill sets against his, and seeing how that comes out.
Was it the best case scenario for you to be able to come here to have that time to coach on TUF, to mend and heal?
Yeah, well, it did work out perfectly in that regard. For me the timeline is perfect for me to come over here and coach. If I was at 100%, I would have had to seriously think about whether or not I had the time to come out here and train, because my training would have been in full swing, and you know, my training and my skill sets take priority over just about everything. But the fact that my training's a little bit slower at the moment, and it's a good time for me to come out, and they offered it to me, you know, everything just kind of worked out.
Gastelum did say that maybe you are not going to be the same fighter after 2 wars against Romero. How do you see that?
You know, I think it's given Romero a bit of a chip to think that he changed me as a fighter after fighting him twice. You know, he was a tough fight. He was a tough opponent. I had my mettle tested. If anything, I think it should be disheartening for every other fighter in the division. You know, no one has what it takes to put me away.